over the next few years. I'd also like to point out that kids' entertainment really is different. Kids are fragile, and they are not they're not as able to distinguish between certain messages from others. And so as games makers, we've had a pretty bad rap over the past few decades, and some of it is well deserved, because we are technologists, and we were mainly young men who didn't really understand or have a clue how the world worked. And we didn't really take ourselves as seriously as the world took us. Last year, for example, it wasn't widely reported, but the Pope put out a statement on mindless violence in video games. And when the Pope's making a statement about your industry, I think you are kind of important. I also would say that if in every single Western democracy that I know of, there has been legislation to move to regulate video games. But within the video game industry, we tend to regard ourselves as, oh shucks, it's just us, it's just a game, you don't understand. And I'd say that I would propose the opposite argument, that maybe we do matter. Maybe we really are as big a deal as these democratically elected representatives and various spiritual leaders would have you believe. And if that's the case, if our medium really can change the way people think, and it really can have an impact on kids' lives, then I think we have an extremely high responsibility to try and make the world a better place with that power. Stories have guided human beings for centuries, and particularly the stories that you're told when you're young. And I think that our mission and something that we can aspire to do is to make that little bit of magic important for kids who are going to be looking back 40 years from now and saying, no, I really remember that game, it was amazing, and it taught me a lot. A few instances from my childhood that resonate is when I was 11, my mom actually allowed me to pick my own Christmas gift, and I picked Squad Leader, which is a war game about World War II platoon combat, and I got to carry it back on the train. Then she would wrap it, and I wasn't allowed to play it until Christmas Day. And that was the best Christmas I'd ever had. I didn't spend any time with my family, and I just spent and played that little board game. And it was absolutely fantastic. It was a complex game, but it was magic to me. And games can do that, and it carried me, it carried interest and a little bit of magic through the rest of my life. To this day, I can tell you the armor on a Panzer IV tank. It's critical information, I'm sure, but actually what it was magic. The other story from those times was when I got my first computer back in 1980. One of the first programs that I built was for kids. It was for my younger brother. And this is just to demonstrate how wrong you can get game design and what an idiot I was. I decided to make a spelling game, which was all text-based. And it would pick a word from all of the words in the database. It would print it on the screen. And then if you spelled it correctly, then it would say correct. You've spotted the logical flaw in my plan. I swear to God, I built that game. And then only after I typed it the first time, I was like, wait a minute. That's wrong, it's printed there. But it shows just how far off base you can get once you're actually coding into design. So I would urge you to take my idiocy, and perhaps a few of the lessons that I think that we've learned over the past few years, and take them to heart. I really rushed through because I didn't know how short we were on time, so I can go to Q&A or I can wrap up. I don't know how close we are.
Q&A and I'll wrap up.
You'll wrap up for me, okay. So if there are any questions, I would be happy to answer them. Or I can go back and desperately remember which bits of my talk I cut out. Hi. Yes. Right. I think that There is one, if you think of, progress, so let's say you have a series of levels, progress through a level is being getting from A to B, there is a difference between being stopped midpoint and being sent back to A. So I would say, first of all, stopping a kid is okay. They're going to get frustrated while they're looking further. But putting them back, that is just incredibly difficult because you're saying you are about to fail, go to the homework again from the beginning. Well, that's tough. I'd say a game that actually does this fairly well is like Star Wars, those games, because they not only have a freeform levels, but the levels themselves tend not to have any time pressure, and you can get up to it, you can still wander around and it never pushes you back. So those would be the specific examples. Does that answer the question? Any other questions?